Welcome to Douglas County. My name is Kelly Robinson. I'm the commissioner of the 2nd District of the Douglas County Board of Commissioners. And this is my spring town hall. Now, this is going to be a very good town hall because again, I got about 15 months left in my term this year, this time around. And the last time we talked was during my state of district. We're coming at the end of the year. We're talking about now we're living in very interesting times now. And as a foundation, is something that we must care about our county. We must all care about how things look to the future. It's not just the elected. It's about the people. And in District 2, we've always been sensitive to diversity, whether it's in ethnicity, whether it's in religion, whether it's sex, or whatever it may be. Everybody's voice matters. If I've learned nothing in 14 years, it's always about the citizens. And so what I'm going to do, I've got a pretty good entitled today up here. I got 3 great panelists. They're going to speak in just one order. I'm going to lay the foundation about what this particular is about, because I think it's important. Being the old head. So I'm going to give you guys what it means to see what I see. And I use that narrative, see what I said yesterday. I just came from the doctor over it. And I realized that I've got less than 10% in my eyes. Right. That means this time next year, I'll be totally dark. Yet I still have vision, which means you got to evolve. If you don't evolve, you will shrink, you'll cave, you'll die. Adversity may come. I get it, but you still have to live, just survive. You gotta beyond striving. You gotta get to a point where we're all thriving together. And what I've always tried to show as a model for District 2, always represent their voices. Me, all of you guys. And it starts with the fundamentals, as I call it. The fundamentals of our future. We're going to talk about what we call basic zoning. Tell you 2 things when you have local municipal, whether it's city or county. Control your zoning and control your police. That's it. Now there's systems across all municipalities, but those are the 2 base. Control how you plan. You got to protect it. All right. So this is going to be. I've got a good set of panelists and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in here for a time. And I'm going to be in and out along the way and stuff. So first up, brand new director. Son Rana, man director. He just recently got promoted. We welcome him to Douglas. I'm going to talk about transportation. He's going to give me work because transportation is important. You guys, I've been talking about this for what, 8 years? Going back to I got to use this story one more time. That jail cost $150 million. It's just a point of capital appropriation. Think about this. And Rana, correct me, director. 173 center miles. The whole county, center miles. So the average center mile costs $200 per mile. That's 100. If my math is right, I know it's good. I can count. So I could have resurfaced every mile in this county for roughly a mile. Now inflation county, we can't get there no more. But I think you guys get the point. It's expensive. It's hard. And one of the things I did this year, of course, being the only District 2, the only committee, I broke rank for my peers. I says, look, I'm not appropriation going for these big collector roads, these arterial. So I used all my appropriations, but put them into what? Subdivisions. That's the important thing about guys. You've been in your subdivision 30 years to get to it again since we tapped it the first time. At the rate that we appropriate. We do things. So that's just a little side. Director Rana, why don't you just come on ahead and grab the mic, talk to him a little bit about transportation, make this thing ebb and flow. And again, to my guests that are here, guys, go ahead and finish your meal, keep eating and stuff. To citizens that are online, again, I welcome you all, and we're going to keep this going. The state of the district for District 2. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Suleiman Rana. I am the director of Department of Transportation. I'm here to give you guys a slight update our operations and what we're planning for the upcoming. And I would like to start off by saying that we have 18 passionate employees. We work every day to deliver your use. And we understand that transportation projects are the most expensive projects that take most amount of time. But that's really just a process that we have to follow. But we at our local level do everything we can to speed things up and bring east as fast as we can. But in the process of doing so, we have to be diligent and make sure everything's done right. So with the 18 employees we manage about 16 active that are either in design or in construction. Our federal projects have a value of about $140 million that are currently planned and ongoing. And with local of about $78 million. That includes SPLOST 2016 and SPLOST 2022. Apart from those projects, we oversee traffic maintenance, and we also coordinate with Public Works to coordinate resurfacing of roads throughout the county. The first thing I'll talk about is traffic maintenance. Traffic maintenance is a big maintenance crew. We maintain over 80 traffic signals in the county, and we have about 50,000 signs that we maintain or own of the county. For the longest time, we weren't exactly sure about the vast number of facets that but until recently, our strategic goal of transforming to Douglas County government, we've decided to make data-driven decisions, and it's very important that we collect, refine, and use the data of our ownership and of our operations every day. And part of that, we took a realization that such a vast number of signs that have an average life of 10 years apiece means that we are placing about 5,000 signs every year. Starting off with our current or existing resources, we plan 1,200 signs for this year. The next 3 to 4 years, our plan is to close this gap and actually get to the 5,000 a year mark, and go from there and eventually maintain a positive outlook of all of our signs to the county. And that is just the traffic sign I'm talking about. Our traffic signal numbers are growing every day or every month with the new developments and roadway projects. And then in two alone, over the next 6 months, we're planning to replace about 300 to 6 signs that would cost about close to $100,000 value. Now, the next thing I'll talk about is roadway resurfacing. Important and very close to our hearts as regular citizens, because we get to drive on roads every day. They count a big number of center lane miles, like Commissioner Robinson mentioned, over 700 center lane miles, and with an average used to be $200,000, has been growing every day because of the inflation. Currently, we're looking at about $350,000 per for construction. So that cost has gone up tremendously. We have a document that our pavement condition evaluation or analysis that tells us how the road exists or what condition they exist in. Using that, we've come to the conclusion that about 55% of our roads are in fair, good, or excellent condition. That means they don't need any maintenance right now, and probably won't have any in the upcoming years. But about 45% of our roads are in marginal or poor condition. So that's we will be maintaining those soon, or if they're currently planned to do so. So that is a big number, but we do everything we can at our level to avail any funding opportunity that comes available, that in CLMIG that is offered by state every year. Then we also have SPLOST allocations that David will go over those fundings to pave as much as we can and strategically touch upon the important within every district. And part that plays into that decision making is the input we get from citizens to our elected officials, and that trickles down to our department, interpret that and address those places that require immediate attention. Now, in year 2020, 22, and 23, we have planned about 7 points of resurfacing. We finished just for 6 miles until last month, and are currently advertising for the remaining about 1 miles of resurfacing in District 2. The next thing that I want to talk about is our comprehensive transportation plan. In the beginning, that we currently have 16 active projects with a total value of about $208 million. I want to talk about how these come to life. A comprehensive transportation plan, referred to as CTP, is a principle, a guiding doc that basically brings a project to life. We will know our needs, but we need to form so we can understand and program for it, but also present these needs at federal and state level and get the fundings that are desperately needed, these expensive needs. So our comprehensive transportation plan was completed in 2021. We used that to program some of our SPLOST projects. We presented some projects for federal funding, and over the years, we've significant federal dollars with a total $140 million to deliver these. But then again, the list is very long, and we're doing everything we can to incorporate improvements as we can. And now what this does is that it incorporates public opinion, regional stakeholders' input, safety, congestion, and operations that exist within the county. And it gives us a refined, prioritized list of not just the current year or the next 5 years, but do in the short term, mid-term, and long term. And that helps us plan better, avail funding opportunities at all levels, basically deliver these projects in a fashion. So that important, this document is very important and use it every day. We have plans that are in works. I'm sure Allison, the comprehensive plan update. But we also have transit master plan that is being done as we speak. Since we don't have anybody from Connect Douglas, I would definitely want to mention that. The transit master plan that is currently being worked on does the same work that the CTP does for our transportation department. It would consider holders' input, study safety, congestion, and service-related issues, and provide a framework for the next year so we can leverage funding opportunities, plans, and deliver results to residents of Douglas County. There is a survey online on Celebrate Douglas that is powered by SurveyMonkey, and it has a variety of questions that would give us a really good understanding of where the county stands and what input of the citizens is. So that would really help us guide our decisions forward. So I would everybody here and watching online to get on our website and participate in this survey. And of course, Allison here will more updates about her plan. But that is all I had for you all today. And I'm available for any questions, or if there's anything Mr. Robinson would like to add.
Stay up, and we're just going to piggyback on this. So again, this is Director Rana. We're talking about distance. I want to bring it there just for a second. A couple of comments you made. So first is that now to $350,000 per 10 mile. And what's that? 300 times 2.1, 2.2, 220 million. Take. Wow. And so half of that, you said 45%. So we need about what, $110 million?
That is correct.
Maybe a full penny SPLOST, David, to be able to do that. Whole thought. That's expensive. SPLOST has to be divided, and David's going to get into that, but it's expensive. So, all right. So then you talked about district. You said something about we got seven. Wait a minute. You 7 miles that we're currently resurfacing.
From 2022 to 2023, we'll be resurfacing 7.5.
Now there's 773 miles. So what is 7 divided into 773? Is what, 100 years at this rate to resurface? Right? 100 years. I'll take half of that. It'll take you 50 years at the current appropriation for if the state gives us. It would take us years to get through one time. I'm trying to put things in context about the expense. And so again, SPLOST and T-SPLOST are very, very important funding mechanisms because again, state does give us money, but I'm going to give you that you can resurface your road for 50 years. Now, I don't know how many houses have been here for 50 years. I don't know how many people have been alive for 50 years. In other words, they'll give you enough for a whole generation. 9. Think about it. But now it's up to us being elected at the local level, like, okay, now I gotta come up with a capital stack that's going to be appropriate. How do I recalibrate mechanism I have to accelerate that? I can't put everything into transportation. The other needs I've got to get to. The decision making that has to be made. So we're going to talk about character in it when Man Duncan comes up. That's important. You know, we're talking about character area, things zone. We got transportation that you let top of that. David's going to talk also how we do services. This all fits together. This is all part of a plan, right? You've got to see a mass plan. A county is a symbol. All right, think about it. We got veterans. We got, in my district down veterans to whole eastern. We got Thornton. You got Riverside. You got Fairburn. Yeah, I got little tails and stuff down 166 and so forth. But I think you guys get the point. Being said, Director Rana, you got. I'm going for anybody to finish out with him. Any questions for Director internally, guys? Y'all want to ask him about transportation? Here you go. We're going to keep it moving. Any questions? Y'all good? Y'all good? Well, Director Ron, I appreciate keep this moving because I know the time frame. Anything you want to close out with?
The last thing I'd like to say, I would like to public input matters to us. Carefully analyze every request that comes into our inbox, personal inbox or complaint inbox. And we perform extensive studies to see if the need exists for any updates. And we present those upgrades or allocations or programming to our elected officials. And we've gotten to report from them over the past few months to these dire needs of the community. So I recommend and encourage everybody to continue providing us with your input so we can address the needs in manner. Thank you.
One more question. Mount Vernon, Graythorne, and Brookmont were some of the communities that district that were resurfaced. Who are we still working on? Do you know?
All of the subdivisions for 22, they're done. They're completed.
Okay.
And everything that's 2023, we're currently advertising.
Okay.
So those finish by the end of the year.
Oh, got it. We're just not advertising though. Got it. Hey guys, let's give him a hand clap while he gets out of here.
Thank you.
All right, Director Ron. Thank you. All right, next up, we're going to get our SPLOS and our Director of Communication, Mr. David Good, who's been so instrumental in helping us communicate to the public. Every month for what past 6 years. And that's always important as far as communication. Not only my citation, but I'm also chair of economic development, chair of finance. And being able to have a comprehension, being able to put all together and keep up with a single view of everything is I couldn't do it without people like this. So come on, get on up, and you know how to do this. I'm going straight out yield the floor to you and talk to the citizens. Piggyback on what Dr. Rana talked about as far as transportation. You know how to swing it, please, and help the citizens better understand how we appropriate.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Everyone can hear me? Right now, I'm focused on District 2, but in the beginning, I am going to give you some financials of the current SPLOS. Right now, I have a meeting next week where I'm going to be talking about our latest presentation, which is going to be February revenue. So right now I'm going to February revenue and work that happened February because I have to on Monday. So right now we're going to talk about finance, which represents 32 SPLOS. Transportation represents 51, and the last 17 go to Parks and Rec. And this is for the 2016 SPLOS. Elections will end for 2016, has already ended. We'll be talking about those funds coming up next in May. So therefore, the funding for it has ended, but the actual project's still going on. The new SPLOS, 2023 SPLOS, or some people call it 2022 SPLOS, that collection started on April 1st. So SPLOS and turned on the other one. Right now, we're looking at the revenues for January was a little bit over 2.8 million, and that's the county, which includes Douglasville, City of Villa Rica, and small part of the City of Austell. So as you know, Douglasville City, that's 100 plus county. Villa Rica is a little bit here, and then Austell, same thing. And then Douglas County represents 72.26% of the overall SPLOS. The rest is split between those cities. Right now, we actually are. When SPLOS first started, we were thinking we were going to get $147 million. Right now, we're on getting about a little over 170. Right now, we're at 169.5 million. Going to get over that 170 mark. That averages out to 117 million. Beginning, we were at 106 million. Now we're at 117. We're going to probably end up somewhere around 120 million overall. Right now, we are a little bit over 26 million% over original projections. This one, can everybody see the green line at the bottom? That green line represents how much that we thought we were going to bring in, and that's a little bit 2.1 million. So each year that we start added 1.1% on top. So in the beginning, it was a little bit under 1.9, and now it's up to 2. So as you see, if you look at the chart, we go as 2.6, which was back of last year, all the way up to now to the highest, I believe, is 3.47, which was December. December has always been month. Since the beginning of SPLOS, they've always been the highest month. And they're averaged out a little bit over 3 million. So think about we believe in 2 and we're bringing in 3. but inflation also has caused a lot of saying they call more to buy stuff. People are spending a little bit more. It really equals out. This next slide is actually showing you the projects here in Douglas County. So if you guys want to see all the projects, I have two flyers here. One of them has a QR code on the back of it. So put your camera over it. It'll go to the website, which is 2016splosh.com. So the first one, fire station number 9. How many of you guys know we're station in District 2? I'm a brand new one. It's going to be a 4-bay one. By show of hand, who knew about it? Even Quad didn't know about it. So, so what we're going to end up doing is going to be a brand new 4-bay fire station, and the amount of it is going to be 8.3. First started it, we thought we would be able to get everything, including the vehicles, 5 million. So now it's ballooned up to 8.3 million. It's going to go on county-owned property over there on Essex and Douglas Boulevard. So just in that area, that's where that's going to go. So you'll see a sign pretty soon. It's going to say the fight of. And once they end up having the plan together on how the building is going to look, then you see a big site there to put that out there. We also are going to more vehicles. This is a 4-bay, four vehicle going there. A ladder truck, which is also called area. A fire engine, which is called truck. A rescue vehicle, and then a med ambulance is going there. And so in that fire station, you're going to have about 14 15 people per shift. So you're looking at the maximum of 45 people in there. So that's going to be at least 45 new people, or at least it depends on how they do it. You just know that off of the operation side of it, SPLOST doesn't cover operation. We cover the brick and mortar of the building. As you saw, I spoke about the vehicles. Also, you know about Leroy Whiting. I know everybody knows about Leroy Whiting. So Leroy Whiting is considered, did you see in Whiting? It's phase 2, and that's going from the freeway out to then it's going out to night. So that road is being widened. With those spots beforehand, people were complaining about potholes being that roll of that area. So therefore we went ahead and rode first, and then we came up there and now widening it. The next part is going to be actually widening from the freeway to E8. That'll be the next part. Then after that, you extend the road past Rings to Beaumar, then Beaumar to Hill, then Chapel Hill out there to what's the last one, Rhonda? It's going to Bright Star, right? Yeah, going out to Bright Star. So that's going to be that arc. Next up, you have we're about 15% last about 2 months about last. So we're a little bit up there, 17%. We haven't resurfacing. Heard earlier about the 3 neighborhoods that Commissioner Robinson put his allocation for District 2 on. What we did was we did $3 million per month, equal up to 18 million, and then about another 2 million from transportation in order to make as large as it ended up becoming. They like phase 2. So everybody knows roundabout is from the roundabout to West Chapel, also putting out lights. This was considered safety. We a certain amount of money almost as put out there to do it throughout the county and as well as along the freeway. So the freeway portion is done. You go down I-20 at night, you'll see them all lit up. We did every Liberty Road to Thornton Road, with the exception of Fairburn Road, which was done by the city. $0 dollars for that. The new sidewalk design phase. During that phase, it was more in order for people to be able to access Waters Park. Then the Chestnut Law soccer field netting and fencing. We're almost done with that. We partner with the school district because it's right there on nearly. So we got netting for the soccer fields as well as fencing for the soccer fields. And then the last one is the concept design Deer Lake Park. We did Deer Lake Park and Winston Park. It was done for around 2,500. So I say half of that came towards Deer Lake in order to do a concept, see exactly what is it that the citizens have. I believe about a month ago, they end up having some of those conceptual designs at Deer Lake inside their gym. So those are all the projects that are active. Now there's some of the projects that are completed. I'm not sure if everybody has self. If you ever came into the county, you start running into areas that there is dead zone. Where at that time, fire and police, they had those same type of issues. But now they're able to get about 97, 99% coverage, no matter where they go. One of the things that Katrina Hartley, who's over E911, she said the main reason a lot of these things happened when 9/11, you had different police, different fire could not talk to each other. So when they went into they could not communicate with each other. So I really paying attention to communications. And here in Douglas County, there was an accident on I-20, and county responded on their side. Douglas County and the city of Douglasville responded. They couldn't speak to each other. And so now with this radio system that we combined out with county, now we're able to. We built seven towers, and we have at least 2 towers here in District 2. You have the county also had the resurfacing of Lee Road. I spoke about that. They have fire equipment renovations that actually happened out there at Fire Station 6, right there on Riverside Road. That was when they also got vehicles as well. Some computer upgrade area. The traffic lights, the SR 992 in Riverside, and SR2 at Mount Vernon. The one at Mount Vernon that was at one time because of the school, the sheriff's deputies actually had to go out there and control traffic. So we worked with the state in order to get that one done. And then we did the same thing at Riverside in 92. So you see that whole entire configuration. So it was done for you guys as well. On the Chestnut Middle School sidewalk, that's one of the sidewalks that was completed. It will be an easy win, but you'll be surprised what it takes in order to do a sidewalk, because you have to make sure the rock under there, you have to do curb gutter, you have to do all those things, and you would think that would be easy. No, it took a while. We're still working in Chester. Next up is the road lighting installations. I believe there was 107 lights that was done up and down Riverside. We actually had a one-time assistant walking on the side. And because there was lighting, I can't remember, it was 18-wheelers, our regular truck hit her and killed her. But she don't working on those late shift jobs. So that was very important to, basically everybody, hey, there has to be some lighting out there in that area. There's even a bike path that was. Next up, you have the Riverside Road at Rock House Road traffic light. We added a traffic light there. So when those come down that side and when it started going up, it's good that there's light there in order to slow them down. On the safety of street lights at I-20, I spoke about those earlier. Some road, the Thornton Road improvement in sidewalk. Then it was helped done by the state of Georgia DOT. Saw a need of doing that sidewalk because again, a young citizen was killed, running across with her, I believe it was an older sister and younger. The older sister made it across first and had to go across, and she got killed on the road. So that was one of our citizens that we saw a need to actually do that sidewalk. So that's what we did. Boundary Waters Multipurpose Center, concession and lighting. We built the concession stand first. We did the lighting of the fields, and then we built a multipurpose. It was a little bit over 30,000 square feet, and that one was done for a little bit less than $8 million. Lake tennis course and lighting. That's one of the two projects Deer Lake. The other one was the gym roof replacement. So did resurface those lights, and it's beautiful. I've gone out there and I've played out there maybe once. Then they have all those lines for pickleball courts. How you tell the difference between the lines for what? But I had issues trying to figure it out. Lost both games anyway. And then finally, that is it. I'll take any questions and comments, and then when I'm done finishing out this part, I'll make sure that I pass out flyers for you guys.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Good. I'm going to piggyback on this. And so he's very good at this. I mean, he is just, man, he kills it. But here's something you brought up, and this is important. Some stories. They were euphoric. They were real of citizens, and some have to be, reacting certain measures, and sometimes we try to ahead of the game. Most of the projects you hear him talk to came from you guys, right? Usually the list is built by staff. I go back and look at all for commission districts. I look at the list. Most of these that were aggregated over time because created a list. Everything on there came through you guys that advocated for the vote. That's the difference. Them street lights were on you guys. Maxim Road, you guys. The commercial fire station was guys. The youth center, you guys, out of our town halls. The building we're in, right, even though it's in District 1 because it's on the corner, District 2 is right across the street, was you guys. So what I'm trying to show means to be an advocate. What it really means to be original. That your voice in the actions of government. There's nothing on that list that's like, okay, that's what you want. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. There it is. I need you to know the difference. Know the difference when you're making your selection. See what he asked for. Now you see it call, and it takes time. But it has never been a chance. I mean, whatever red lights, green lights, okay, I'll be right back. I'm here to serve, not be served. Forget the honorable. I'm here to serve you guys. Looking at this, look like, man, I've got a lot done. Like, man, that'd be a good book. That's some good stuff, because never had it been done in the history so far. And I'm saying, no, take pride to no, look where you're, that's what you asked for. Your prioritization. Not only speaking to District 2, that's important to me. That's the only reason I exist. The broader county, I get that. Oath was District what? 2. Right, David, let's talk about this. So we got this current, we're about to finish out. All right, so Dave, wait a minute, is the current SPLOST over? Is 16 over yet?
Yes, the collection of the funds is in March 31st.
March 31st, so April 1st, the new penny kicked in?
Yes, sir.
So we just kept it?
Yes.
All right, so we're not paying yet already.
No, not yet.
All right, so you collecting what, 2 million a month, basically? Two and a half?
We're talking about 3 million a month, but I'm probably seeing that downtrend because, as you know, the federal government did kick in and help this process. So, we're probably closer to 2.5, maybe like $115 million for this.
Yeah, 2.5 million. So we got 2.5 million. We're just gonna put it, stack it up right now.
Right.
We're gonna add it up. So again, look, it's expensive. It's important. So, David, so all right, we got allocation, we've got categories and stuff. So that was 16, right?
Correct.
All right, you want to cover 2020?
I can.
Please keep it going.
The 2022 SPLOST, we broke that one up into 4 categories. We actually have public safety. Public safety is going to represent 40.8. Public safety has 6 to it. So you have the sheriff's office, fire, you have emergency management, you have 911, you have the coroner, and you have code compliance. So those are the areas that's going to have to split up 40.8%, which use very, very conservative terms. You say dollar on it, saying, hey, 40.8 million. If you believe 100,000, that'd be 40.8 million. More likely, you can always say, hey, well, if you get 2.5, talking about maybe you could end up going up a little bit over 40 million. But let's just use those layman terms, numbers. Next up, you actually have transportation, 27 point, I believe it's 27 point, or 20, no, is it 27.8 or is it 27.4? 27.4 million. So that's going to come out and say, hey, we're going to give you surfacing. We're going to look at some, again, make sure initiatives are done. Just whatever our rate transportation need, that's coming out of that. Then 20% of that is going to go to forest parks, libraries. Last time was Parks and Rec. This time we're adding library in on that one. Last percentage is going to be 17%. And some coroner's building can come out 17%. And each one of them, when you hear those percentages, then think of millions. So 17. So those are the doing that now. And this came out of meetings that we actually had the beginning of last year. Like this time last year, that's when it was really thought about and saying, can we continue doing so? So that's what I have for you, Commissioner.
Thank you very much. Any questions, anybody? So again, the SPLOST in 2016 is pretty much all the dollars we're gonna collect again. Right now, we're getting out their project. Now it's a good body of work. In the prior, so I've been through three SPLOSTs. First one went to jail, completed. What he just framed is going forward. The last SPLOST we had was back in 2002, was Aquatic Center, right? That's when Bounding Waters was being built out. But think about it, that was 20 years ago, a generation ago. This is right. This is your generation, and so it's important to see how this is extended over time. Doc. This SPLOST will go how long, David?
6 years.
6 years. So 2029. 2029. So 2030. I don't need 2030. I think you guys get it. I mean, the point is, when you contact. I mean, again, do you see your voice? Do you list? See, a lot of times people give you lip service. They whisper to you and they just yeah. No, I'm here to serve. I mean, can't guarantee where it's gonna come down because you always got to get to 3. You always got to shape the list and stuff. But I mean, did anybody advocate for you? And I think that's important. David, you talked about buildings. You talked about transportation. Let's talk about transportation is so important. And one of the things I did not like, also I support it. Don't get me wrong. I have to respect my peers, which is I should have had a T-SPLOS, a single funding mechanism. You got the sheriff and fire and all those guys, and I got to spend what, $16 million on cars, and $17 million on trucks. And it's the equivalent of $27 million on the whole transportation. Those are expensive. Now that sheriff is 17 million itself, not including fire, which is equal of people. So think about it. That's expensive. Them two groups alone. Again, I think that there should have been a T-SPLOS. Not the administration is going to do regarding that. I mean, obviously, they'll need to talk about it right now. To get the point is that okay now, if you could have did both of them. We had one dedicated to transportation. Then we could have really thing out and got to work. But it's okay. You don't want to overburden the citizens. You just chat. That was just enough. We just kept it going. You guys can always revisit that in the future. Any questions for Mr.
Yes, sir. There's a young lady
Yeah,
here.
please weigh in.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Hello, Douglas. My question is out to follow along much better than having to take notes. Do you have any handouts like we had the last time? If we could get those I'm good at numbers, but I don't on that well.
Okay, I'll make sure that it gets to you.
Yeah,
She's
because
doing it now.
thank you, because
Yeah.
I see it, feel it, and the way I'll know I'm able to keep along. I
Yes.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And when you look at it, you will see a place for you to actually flip on the side, put your camera phone over it and look at the website. If you don't have a camera phone with you, then you can actually go to 2016splos.com. So that'll show you the information. You're welcome. And just backing off of that, I don't know if you guys remember, but I believe last year a year before last, able to do a plan on your 5-4. So everyone was able to put out on the survey and say, hey, what's important to Douglas? The first thing that was important was public safety. So now as you see on both SPLOS, public safety has been talked about. Second up was infrastructure and transportation. Actually took 2 and 3. Was another pieces that was able to actually be done. So luck was also on there. So every single thing you guys asked for, we also have. I believe it was care. Then another one was Parks and Rec, and then last facilities. All those outside of health are answered onto the old SPLOS end, and we wanted to mention that out there. There you go. Are any other questions?
I do want to acknowledge your voice about having something in writing. I'm an old school person too, and normally we have financials. You have followed. So I do appreciate that comment. I apologize that was not there because that's normal, not district. We always have handouts, and always have things. Because not technically adept like me. I don't see what's on social media. So I respectfully make sure that doesn't happen again.
Right.
All right.
And she does some paperwork in front of her now. So if she does have any other questions on anything that's, I'll be here after Allison speaks or while she speaks. If it's important that you guys gotta leave us, so I'll make sure I'm here to answer any and all questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Well done. All right, guys, let's give David Good a clam tab right here. And you guys, food back there now. Come on. That's your food. All right, we're gonna keep this going though. Again, this is intimate. We appreciate our citizens that are online. This is being recorded, so we're gonna keep this moving. Allison Duncan, our manager of planning, we're gonna go ahead and yield the floor. As you know, in district, keep it moving. So you have the floor, madam.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna pull up my presentation if y'all will bear with me. And let's see. Here we go. All right, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Thank you to Suleiman and David. I think this is an awesome way to just bring everything full circle, right? Suleiman had mentioned the comprehensive transportation plan. It's a document, right? It's a document that says this is what we're going to do when it comes to transportation. David does an awesome job of keeping all those numbers ahead, talking about the SPLOS. It is just amazing. Every time I listen to him and hear him, the projects and the amounts that are being expended, right? And what that is telling you is that when we make these documents that we're going to do it, we actually do it. And that's here for y'all to hold us accountable. And so I'm here tonight to talk to you about our comprehensive plan update. So just like the comprehensive plan that Suleiman had shared with with you, we're working on our comprehensive land use plan. These two projects go hand in glove together, right? To make sure that just in these investments, in our transportation infrastructure, we're also investing in land use pieces so that we're kind of supporting everything wholly. And he had also mentioned again, I want to make that plug, our transit master plan that is going now. All of this works together. Right. Because at the day, these are just documents that come together so you can see that we're actually y'all are telling us to do. So I'm going to give you just a brief overview. I'm not going to get much into the weeds of kind of the background of this, but Georgia is unique in that comprehensive planning is mandated by state law. Every city and county in Georgia has to do a comprehensive plan. And we have to update those every first. If you go to the project website, you can actually blog posts that we've been keeping where we talk our earliest comprehensive plans because we're trying to get line from where we started doing comprehensive plan about 40 years ago to where we are today. And so our comprehensive plan looks long at growth. We're looking at about 20 years into the future, taking stock of where we've passed and looking at where we're going in the future. So when we think about kind of the foundation of our plan, it is that community vision, right? It details kind of where we want to go and how we want to, and then we kind of elevate that all the way up to the very top, which is that community work program. Those projects, right, that Commissioner Robinson articulated. Y'all give us the projects we can, and then we figure out how to articulate and do those projects on your behalf. So this plan is around several strategic plan goals. These should look familiar to you because when the county's strategic plan date, our 5-year strategic plan, we wanted to that we were tying everything together with our strategic plan. So our comprehensive plan is based on those strategic plan goals that to us. Right. They said, hey, we want to see those same things that we're organizing our SPLOST strategic plan and all of our other priorities around. So public safety, infrastructure, economic development, recreation, health. Those are those exact same priorities. That's what you told us to focus on so that we stay focused on all of those things through all of our planning initiatives. And I can't score enough that community is key. Right. So this event here tonight is part of over 20 in-person opportunities that we're having just this phase of the planning process. We have our online opportunities. I hear y'all on the paper or show up in person. We want to make sure that we're giving everybody multiple ways to, right? So we've been out to our September. We've worked with a hearing committee that has been really committed to showing it and giving us their feedback. We've done a whole series of state interviews and focused workshops as this process. And now we have what we call our roadshow, right? We're taking this information on the road and we're coming to the community to make sure that we're telling y'all what we've heard so that you can tell us if we get it right. Okay. So jump in and kind of share with you sort of some of the big pieces of what we heard from this plan update process. And one of those first pieces is character areas, right? So this is one of those things Thomas and I talk about all of the time. It's really the first time that we have put on paper what we would describe as the character areas for Doug, and that's this map that I'm showing you. Again, all of this is on our website. If you want to spend a little bit more time with this presentation, you're welcome to go to our website and get it. But character areas, essentially geographical areas that have the same look or feel. They can be tied together based on. So for example, a lot of folks are familiar with the Dog River Watershed Basin, District 4. That's a big part of the county that you can see in blue. And that's kind of all tied together based on policies that limit the amount of development, because when it rains, all water comes down and gets collected into the Dog River Reservoir. And that is our primary drinking water reservoir county, right? So development in this area kind of looks and feel the same, because we have to make sure that we're staying focused on preserving water quality and quantity, right? I would contrast that with traditional neighborhoods, right? So that's this big yellow, sort of in the middle of the county. And those are a lot of those single family detached neighborhoods that kind of come line between 50 and 2000, right? And they all share very similar characteristic, in terms of their period of development, their style, right? And so we're going to plan for these areas very differently. We're going to plan for this area, and we're going to plan for that very differently than, say, our data district, which is that area along Thornton Road where we have seen the inflow of warehouse distribution and data centers, right? But what's critical about all of these is we've started to draw boundaries around each of these, right? That's one of the things that we've heard very clearly through this comprehensive plan process, is we want to sort of see where one area stops, other area starts. We want to make sure we're keeping an eye on sprawl and the creep, clearly delineating, to kind of keep searches in areas that they don't kind of get too far into the other areas. So I'm excited about our character areas. I'm excited for the way that we can kind of take our normal planning processes up to 3,000-foot level and start to kind of how we see land use in Douglas County kind of happening in that big picture level. So let me kind of walk through some of these briefly, right? Our data district and Campbellton West are two areas that are primarily non-residential in nature, right? So I've heard y'all on the truck traffic, right? We've heard that loud and clear. One of the reasons that you take a fair share of industrial is because your industrial and your commercial development, your tax base, right? Have those uses to pay into our tax digest, then a lot of that burden is on the residential, right? So that's why we balance the commercial and industrial with the residential areas. So the areas Campbellton West and our data are two of the areas of the county, we have taken a fair amount of industrial development. And if you notice this Sweetwater Creek State Park, and I would just point of all of our industrial owning in the county, we have about the same amount of industrial zones of acres as we do in the state park, right? Just on kind of order of magnitude. So you kind of give some idea of comparisons. As we move forward, get into some of the older developed part of Douglas County, right? So West Fork over here was actually a master planned commercial and industrial subdivision that goes back to around the 1970s. It's taken about 50 years for this West Fork area to build out, but this is one of the most important economic gen county, right? So we want to make sure that we're staying on keeping this area vibrant and economic active for the future of the county. Quarry, which still has a time left, to be used actively as a quarry. And then we've done some planning historic Lithia Springs, right? So really kind of helping to achieve its full potential as one of our mixed use residential and commercial character areas for the county. So the traditional neighborhoods and the rural reserve are two areas that kind of transition away non-residential character and get primarily a residential and a rural resident, right? And so what that means is that we focus more primarily here on our stable single family housing in these areas. Winston, similar to our historic Lithia footprint, is an area we want to kind of do a little bit more than maybe we've done in the past on bringing about its full potential as a mixed use of town center node. But we've also planned this workplace campus, right? Because other non-residential nodes, right? Campbellton West, District, West Fork, a lot of those are proud, right? So we look at kind of what is that next opportunity for us to expand into our workplace footprint. While we're still kind of maintaining those back, into some of our more stable areas. And so we see that area of our workplace as the potential for that. And then as we get kind of further out west into District 4, this is where we start to see kind of the more residential resort character areas. So the Dog River Basin, as I had mentioned, Byway Reserve is an area that kind of travels along State Route 166, which was recently as a part of the Georgia Scenic Byway Network. And then our Resort Conservation Area is another kind of different sort of economic development node. So much like we have the data district that's focused on warehouse distribution and data centers, this is really focused on health, wellness, and resort style development down here. And then this portion of me. And so we're seeing a lot of really potential for economic development in that area. And then finally, we're taking a deep dive into our corridors. Commissioner Robinson had mentioned, that those corridors are key in development. And oftentimes people tell me, oh my gosh, Douglas County is changing so quickly. There's so much growth and development happening. And I think a lot of that is because you see it on our corridor. We've pushed a lot of development to our principal transportation corridors so that we can keep it out of our stable single family neighborhoods. And so as they're so heavily traveled, and that's part of the reason why there is a perception that Douglas County is growing so quickly. Our growth is the overall growth was about 1.2% annually Douglas County is just higher than that. We're at about 1.7% annual. But overall, I think we're doing okay. And we're really focusing how we can protect and preserve the areas that we need to do so that we can have the growth in the areas that we plan to grow in. So I'm going to pause right there. Any questions before I'm into some other aspects of this? So,
No, look, let me a little breather on that. You're
Yes,
doing
sir.
well. You're
Yes,
doing
sir.
well. So you mentioned the character areas, right? You know, District 2 is the east wall, right? Right. You got that District 4 western wall. So our district for District 2 looks more like Cobb and Fulton. All right. It's dense. All right. West District 4 looks more like Paulding and Carroll. A little bit more rural. So these are different character areas. District 1, 2, which is obviously that district is primarily city, downtown. 7% of that district is in the city, and then obviously along the southern border is District 3, which is our water. Our it's a little bit different, more residential. So your point that you're making is that if you think about, look, 2 is the engine, it's the economic. We're balanced. So we generate about our digest, our contribution out of $6 billion digest. District 2 is 1.9 billion by itself. That's almost a third. You can put the whole Douglasville in our think about it. All right. So what is that? 24,000 residents in the city. We got what 150, 47?
about 150,000.
150,000. The magnitude. The city can be put in our entire district. Their valuation, their digest about 1.7 billion. I'm 1.9 billion, 9 billion. District 4 becomes about 1.8 billion. It's important to have that commercial. You don't want that burden property tax, which is 6% of the tax. We get it. The other part, obviously, from the commercial side. 2 is quite, we're somewhere between 51% and 49%. 49% is commercial. But 3, what are, they're basically 80% residential. They don't have much commercially. There's no commercial development over there. District 3 says, no, we're gonna protect that. We don't want that type of development. District 1, we're pretty much to our future. I'm sure she's going to speak to it, is out west and how we shape that. We got very different characters. I mean, I moved out here in 1990, my entire adult life, 33 years, my entire adult life. There was no Publix. There was no Riverside. This is important. Like, this thing is it's developed over, but we've now gone to become 12th most popular. We're the 12th most populous county that is not above 200,000. So we're next up. We're number 12, and we're the 8th most dense. We got a little bitty footprint. We're the 8th most dense. So how we do is like, all right, guys, y'all got to be smart about this. We sprawl doing to her point up to 2,000. I'm trying with something. All right, now let this thing get away from you. Y'all better be very thoughtful in how y'all shape this. That's what you got to put. Y'all know how we do it. What they're talking about, I've been doing this for 12 years, y'all. This is how we do this. Get the input. But she's talking about on a much strategic, wide. Y'all gotta weigh in because it's kind of, if we don't do this right, it's like, we want everything to be like District 2. That was our endo. That was the people that were before us. Got it. I shaped the best I could. But you have a true chance at raw woods. You got the West. They need to be thoughtful. So Allison's got to do a good job of sort of bringing it all together. But Allison, I just want to give you a breather.
Thank you. You had one question. Yes, ma'am.
Please.
My concern is there, and my is we've got over 13 gas stations, and I've counted that is being built on the corner of Riverside Parkway. Now we have industrial building houses patched in with residential, which does clean air, which does clean water. So my concern, and most of them have been there over 11 years, we're being boxed in. And because we're being boxed in, we're ready to move on. Because the value is going to go down. Someone who lives in a 49% commercial and 52% residential. That's a very tight margin. And for me, I want to be able to live my best my senior year. We moving. And before our property value goes down. The apartments are gorgeous. They're beautiful. In between the apartments, I have the right of me as I leave out of my neighborhood on my way to church. And there's a new development for warehouses. Look to the right, warehouses. I look to the left, there's green space. I look to the right, there's Gordon Food. In between all of that, there's small pockets, residential, having to breathe air, having to look at the side roads where the bike trail is. The money is being spent redeveloping the roads on the, because Kia, I'm not quite sure the name, but they take precedent on that road. They park there, they rest there. Now we have the gas station. I'm going to be real quick about it. Now we have the gas station on the
Now,
corner.
real quick, your question.
I'm going to move on. I'm just voicing my opinion. The question is in everyone's mind. When is the area in which we live in is stop seeing so many buildings going up? And now we're pocketing in residentials because kind of feel like that was not had planned on purchasing. And I hear what you're saying, the tax dollars, the tax are great. But if I don't have a clean living, if I have to breathe air that is not, if I have to drink water and move on, and here it is, truck after truck after truck. It's not just the trucks. It is the fact of the warehouses in between so many beautiful residential homes. And they're going to lose their value. I wouldn't want to move over there a $500,000 every time I turn around, there's a warehouse. I want to live in an area where it's nice and green and plush, where the warehouses aren't building around them, you know?
Madam,
Okay.
thank
I'm
you.
done.
Thank you.
I do apologize for that.
No,
I just get passionate about my living, my
I
style,
appreciate
the
that.
development.
No, she point. This is how we do in District 2. We get at it. So let's back this up. We do this, right? Right, for the great in 08. All Riverside was supposed to be a big master plan community from all the way down, straight residential. Let's keep it real. No history. Let's not be delusional about what we thought. Master plan all the way down, Riverbanks, Abilene, all the whole thing. Before Tyler showed up, the thing was supposed to be a master plan. Oh, the Great Recession happened. Oh my! Right, so now everybody got those holders of that property. Look, they gotta sell it off. All property. It's rights. Do what they want to do with their property. At that time, everybody's in their homes. It has nothing to do with county. It had to do with a state of. All right, so District 2, that's how that went down. Right, so now you got these guys just selling off their land. They got to take care of their houses and their lifestyle. Right, so you got talk right there. He does. Last is 18. Right, people are buying stuff up for different reasons. Let's keep it real. Right, so now you got now we're looking now, and things got zoned. Y'all are all quiet. Everybody lost their houses. So zoning is 09 when we did code. So now you're right. The dinosaurs to buildings, always my analogy, and these little gazelles. And you got Riverside. To be honest with you, Riverside, I got to take Riverside 4 lanes in it. And it's not supposed to be there. I had to slow the traffic down. I mean, all the things you're talking about, but it coexists. It was a pre-existing condition of our community. It's not that somebody made the wrong decision. Say, okay, this is what it is. That's my whole point. The hand that was already, you can't undo it. Do it. What I can do is I hear y'all like, all right, let's slow this down now. Right, you need to come to the meeting. You know, like, all right, y'all know this development going. Y'all don't see them clearing that land. Are y'all looking at that sign? Y'all, I don't know me. I do answer phone. It shouldn't be twice a year. You got to reach out, active and engaged. Y'all want me to slow that thing down? I just slow it down. But you gotta talk. You have to say, and that's what this environment is really about. I appreciate, like, no, I get it. She's right, but it's late. Right, I'm trying to say, no, but I gotta talk about the money, but emphasis that I had to push back on. But guys, look, yeah, you got nice houses. They're going in. That property don't got the same right that you got. Both are property owners. And this exists in both, so I'm trying to balance it. All I have to say, if y'all want me to slow that thing down, I can slow it down. Pay attention. We gotta do this. You better do it now. That's the whole point of this room. That's why Allison's here. You better say this now. Because if you don't get involved in this process right here, it's gonna be locked 10 years. So I'm glad we're having this conversation. I mean, woman after my own heart. That's important. You have to get engaged. But please know the history though. You'll come in and say, like, no, this is how we got here now. We know what we're doing going forward. The past is the past. I don't cry about what prior decisions before me. I just accountable while I'm on deck. But we got to keep this moving because I can be out of time. Allison, please keep going. Please
One
keep
more
going.
question from the audience. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I have a question. Or Curry from the Village.
All right. Greetings.
How you doing? I hear your statement on that, and I think one of the things because I said it most of the time frame we have things talking about what is the plan is going to go to the next phase. But are we looking at where she's addressing her issue, the industrial part? What about the Airbnbs, the short term that's being dropped or being presented in not only the city, but the county, and what mechanisms are we using in the county to kind of go through that process of y'all being able to track who's doing those Airbnbs, as well has the city as well. I know we're in the county, but as well. That question.
Right. So Allison, you gonna tag team this?
Absolutely. I'm ready to answer.
No,
Pick
go
it
ahead,
up.
go
I
ahead,
can
go ahead.
follow-
I'll come behind that.
Again, I would say just to some of these uses that we hear a lot about, the gas stations, the Dollar Generals, the Airbnb rental, things like that, we do back. I want to piggyback on what the commissioner said. We have to balance property rights for sure. But uses that we've heard from the community that, hey, we've had enough of this. For example, the gas stations. We've made those special use permits, right? So you can't say, hey, never again will we build another gas station, right? But you can say we're going to have an extra level of zoning view over things to make sure that we're building them in the places that are appropriate, right? So there's uses that are permitted by right, that are only permitted in special use permit. So we have taken things like the dollar stores and the gas stations and the short-term rentals, and we've added an additional layer of scrutiny to those so that they can't win without the signs going up, right? So that he does come and have a voice in the process. And as we move through this comprehensive process, to the point that Commissioner Robinson was making, you have to give us that feedback about what are those additional uses that we need to have that additional scrutiny over. And balancing the rights, very hard in what we do to say, absolutely not is never, ever going to happen. But we can have that very deliberate course about, is this the right location for it to happen? And that's where I need folks to show up at that zoning, right, and express their feelings one way or the other on that. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Again, one more time, more basic instruction. Now we get into your quality of life. That's when it's got to get a little bit more intimate, right? In other words, like, I'm here to represent you. You got to say something. Right. In other words, like, all right, I can slow down, or I can at least area. But I need to know that. But again, while you guys communities, you got people who are renting out things. It's a new phenomenon. Right. So that's what I mean. The law lives and breathes. It ebbs and flows. We change policy and ordinance. So if we need to constrict it, we need to regulate it more, bring it in, we can bring it in. We need to expand, we can. That's the whole point. It's not rigid. It's not dictating guys. They're talk to them. That's what this is about. This is not a dictator. I'm like, all right, guys, I go. Say something to them. She's in here capturing. So it's not like me. I can't worry about times past it. And you weren't heard. And it just morphed how I did. I cannot lie here and say I did not care. But they were going to do what? 3 acres and 400,000 square feet. And it was insane when I first came in office. Now you actually have an active voice. And I'm saying, but you got to do this right now. District 2 is what? Almost built out. Let me not be delusional with you. That's how dense I am. It's already in play. It's deal with the boomers, Generation X, bills. I'm in the middle. That's the hand I got. It is what it is. It's what it is. But the generation got to be more thoughtful about the land and that y'all. I'm built out. It will be nothing but redevelop me. 20 years guys are handling it. So that's important, this input. But let's keep one add. I mean, yes, or gotta be honest, or critique of me, what? The planning zoning board. So I mean, yeah. I know, I had to say that. Yeah. Correct. I mean, how many of you guys have, if you live in a subdivision, you have eight days? I mean, that was important to me. I'm HOAs and stuff, and giving you guys even greater voices to speak to you. Now we're giving days with their covenants with a home rule. In other words, if your covenant said you can't have an Airbnb, we're gonna honor that. We don't have an HOA and you just county, then we're gonna be a little bit more, well, we're gonna more likely allow it. It's both. That's that home. I own my property. If I want to rent out it, I want to. But if I'm part of this HOA, this covenant, then I'm like, well, we ain't gonna get involved in that. That's civil amount of that. Y'all agreed to that thing. So pay attention. You gotta learn civic. You gotta learn how this works together in these different rules. So we're not dictating the input meeting, but we gotta stay on time. This is important. Thank you. I'll keep going.
Well, so a couple others that we'll hit on. I think to add vision piece, right? The other thing I'm excited about for this addition to character areas, we've started to put together most of our green space, and we haven't done that in a very deliberate way in the past. We have a parks and recreation back to the 90s, but I don't think, to your point about wanting to live in sort of a green verdant environment, I don't think that we have really made a effort to plan for those green space. So we've been taking a very deliberate look about where we have our conservation land. Right. So that's not going to be developed long term. Started to piece together what can be a countywide trail network to connect all of those. Right. Very exciting to me about this is just the fact it exists. Right. Because at the point that the commissioner made, there's been a lot of decisions that have been made in the past based on the data that's available at the time, but they didn't articulate a vision for how are we going to connect our neighborhoods and our green spaces with a trail network that give people that healthy living opportunity. Right. So that's a big kind to do with this one, because in the past, what we've done is use just this future land use. And don't get me wrong, the future land use map is an awesome tool, that we have available to us. But remember, we character areas, which kind of sit on, and then the future land use map is a parcel by parcel characterization of the very specific land that we want to see in a given piece of property. And so we've kind of expanded those categories out. We've tweaked them a little bit, right? So here's an example where we've heard y'all on the commercial and industrial a little bit. So we've started to change some of those categories. Like, for example, our transit corridor category used to be the area where we said, well, we think that this is going to start to transition away from residential commercial. Well, we've changed that to say, no, we think that this is an area where it needs to stay residential, but maybe we might do the type of residential into cover duplexes and things like that, because we've heard the feedback from the community that we need more options, for aging in place. We need young families to come and get their first starter home. That's one of the ways that we've kind of started to use the tool we have available to us to make those changes based on the feedback from the citizens. So as I wrap this up, I'll highlight two small area plans that we've focused on. One is in the Lithia Springs small plan. And again, I don't know that we have a lot of very deliberate planning around Lithia Springs. So we looked at 4 areas, the Lee, the Causey Gateway, Veterans Memorial Highway Corridor, and West Fork. And to kind of give you some idea of concepts out of these are areas where we know we get a lot of pressure for development. And so here, looking at an area where we have gotten a lot of commercial and industrial development in the past, and we're starting to articulate a little bit of a different vision for that kind of knits together the disparate, residential and commercial pieces into sort of town centers surrounded by a greens. We're looking at that area around 78 and State Route 6, kind of that big development potential that we have on Causey Road, and looking at the opportunity to become a mixed use node there. We're looking at the entire Veterans Memorial Highway and trying to create, for how those land uses can transition along Veterans Memorial Highway. And then, as I said, West is just this amazing economic engine for the county. But we need to make sure that we're staying on top of the zoning and land use in that area, and keeping that vibrant and viable, for the future. And once again, how we can connect everything together through that Greenson Trail network, because we've heard that they say parks, recreation, trail, and healthful living is a really important priority to us. So we need to make sure that the built environment is reflected. And so then finally, just wrapping up on Winston, there was 3 key components to Winston: the place campus that I had identified, the core of historic Winston, and then that rural reserve area. So the workplace campus we envision is kind of that expansion area for a job creation center, something that very deliberately would not have that would bring heavy truck traffic, right? So very clearly on that priority, that space. The Winston is that historic mixed use node in downtown Winston. So kind of trying that about to its full potential. And then finally, the rural reserve, right? It's kind of that periphery around Winston. Then we don't have a lot of infrastructure in that area. We have a lot of folks that are still pursuing sort of agribusiness and agritourism uses in that area. And so we want to make sure that we're in that lifestyle in that area. So we are about halfway through the process. Once we kind of take the feed from our show, from where we kind of get out in the community and take it on we'll assemble all of that together, and take the kind of towards the end of May, you'll see the draft plan document that's available for public review. So to the point that the commissioner had we really need people to give us their feedback. We need to go online, take our survey about this information, talk to me after the meeting tonight, so that we say, hey, you're moving in the right direction, or you don't quite have it right at this time. I'm going to pause right there and turn it back over to the commissioner. But again, I'm having questions that y'all may have. So thanks for turning out tonight. And let me speak.
No problem. And clap, guys. Really. Good job. No, I want to piggyback on some. I want to guys have some pens and papers. So I'm sensitive. Sometimes you do have to envision things. We've got, write this down. We got 100, roughly 1,000 residents, right? So that means population. I'll give you context. We have 948 subdivisions. Give you context. Let's get our math right. 948 subdivisions. I've got 242 in District 2. So right, 48 SDC / 248 with District 2. But I've got almost 250 divisions in my district alone. I'm going to put things in context. Now, within that, and now that's and so you got about 55,000 homeowners. I'm gonna keep it simple for you. 55,000. So spread it out. 55,000 households. Forget 2 kids, 3 kids. Easy for you. In county, there's 7,000. I print out today 7,000 businesses. Period. From Google all the way down to Gurren. So 7,000 businesses total. From Google to, so I got 7,000 businesses, and I've got how many subdivisions? I'll put it in that they're not that many businesses. Don't confuse the valuation with aesthetics or structural. They're not the same. So what we have, I want to make sure that you may see these commercials, you may see it, but that does not represent the fullness of the county and its land. That's a false framework. 7,000 businesses. About guys, it's not that many. Concentrated. You talking about the big warehouse? I get it, but the county's got a nice footprint. Now I can do square mile per each of those for you. Give context. So what we're saying is that when we said we're 50-50, that's just on the tax. That means that those 7,000 businesses are equal to the fullness of all homes. How about that? I mean, just 7,000 against all that. That's pretty balanced, guys. It's not context. And that's simple. I got 942 homes. I mean, subdivisions by themselves, 942. So you think about your shape future. I get how it may seem again, and I know going down what's that movie Jurassic Park? You got the dinosaurs, rolling down the street. I get them tractor trailers. I get it. I'm concerned that guys, these things get more denser. But again, those guys with those fiber bought just like you bought yours. You just moved in before I got to get money, getting re-upped again so I can come to the game. Now they're coming back in the game because they were able to get money. Right? Just like all you guys see in Pipe Cities, those that were there doing closures. Allison was very instrumental in helping us get rid of all those pipe cities, those communities in District 2. Like the plate communities in the area and in Brookmont and all those other places. We had to go in and buy those things. We took taxpayer dollars, commercial, and bought them and returned them and fixed the zoning with the plumbing and stuff, so that people can come in, those small businesses can come in and what? Buy them and put their houses up. So we're very active. We know where pain is. If I see it, like, I will fix that. Now we can let that be and be slum and blight. It's like, no, we ain't go that way now. Not in District 2. And so a lot of things that comes out of District 2 becomes the model for the rest of the county. Like guys, know what this room matters. And I got here in 4 months, still, no, 9 months. And I say that, seriously said, all right, guys, get this. I get it. I mean, it's a season thing. The problem is that don't let people just in power. You guys don't stand up. That next generation, not get going. I appreciate you. Get in the game. I mean, I did my part. I've got receipts that are long. Who's gonna step and ensure the rest of the county? We're gonna weigh in for District 2. I get it. It ain't about me. It's about you. That's my whole thing. Red carpet. You can see the red carpet. Think about it. I'm not moved by houses. I can't house. What I drive, I can't see it. So I relate to the world totally different. Can't see though. I see this whole county. It's a beautiful place. It's a gym. It was what she talked about is the broken promise. What Doug's supposed to be when it's sprawled out of 2000. All those that are in right now. It was beautiful, but the recession happened. Now this is over, and we're trying to correct this thing. It just life happens, right? Life happens. We have to get over it. I got to get over it. Now, how do I play this hand? My point is, I guys weigh in. Again, great presentation. Again, this is how we do it in District 2. You guys have to weigh in. I always welcome your input and stuff. You guys, and you see it represented. Those you may not know this, and we talk like the District 2. We get right at it because it is about you guys. It's like, look, you guys have time. In government, there's time for action. Right. So in other words, like if you ain't paying attention, now you ain't gonna follow us. That's my to represent you and go back. And then in the sense the last time, did I get stuff done? I'm seeing Commissioner Robinson progress. See it? Okay, he's moving. Okay, I see it. So you see the progress, but and it's a lot. It's 64. I mean, it's a lot to have to cover the whole. Anyway, questions. This closes. Anybody? David Hill. Oh, sorry, Allison. Any questions? That was it. Nobody? Well, with that being said, I'm going to bring this in, and that was the formal part of this. Again, one thing what's important for District notice again is not just about business, small business. It's always about procurement, like where the contract's going, where the money going. Every year, as you know, I just had my 7th annual doing business and something important. We took leadership back in 2000. We're like, okay, Douglas County was too close. Douglas County was supposed to be a bedroom community. I heard what y'all said, like Commissioner Robinson, I moved out north. I like a little slow here. I like to raise my family out here, but can I get some street lights? Get some bike lanes. Get me. Those are things that you asked me for. Those are your. Right back. Got it. Can I get some trails? These are things that you asked for that, you saw these things. Again, I'm looking at this thing and I said, okay, so business is just one of those things that said, okay, guys, but still your government. Know where your dollars are going, participate in it, get involved. Next, I'm coming up with my 8th annual mental health. Great light for today. We talked about mental health and tired of getting put right now. One of the things I just got back from Washington, D.C. I'm up there for public health, with mental health. I'm up there looking at crime, looking at transportation. Those are some of the classes I went to, of course. But some of this key is mental health. Been doing mental health before Prince Harry. 2015. Oh, they from 1985 to 2015. They were showing demographics and being incarcerated in Georgia. African Americans, the curve was like bam, and it came down in 1988, 2000. Now, with the opioid, non-African Americans, their trajectory like this, not spite. Now, why in 2000, why y'all getting sort of convenient that now y'all want to now find a solution for? This wasn't a moral thing that y'all got accountability for. Of course, you realize that 30 policy, you couldn't afford it no more. Now you got to take these people back out. I'm fighting for that type of thing. Open up. I help drive a courts here. Advocate for them. Now I'm not only on the judicial side, don't do, but the point was to create the act and put policy in place to make it happen. Appropriation, an alternative option. It's one thing to talk. It's another to be able to affect it. So the last thing I want to about is beyond that, and that's next month. Pay it is HOAs. And again, HOAs are just like me, guys. I'm government. In your HOAs, you guys run your community. One thing I like about the HOAs that should be, and I'm pushing for this, is for you guys to be able to go through formal classes like I do every certified. I got to go to Savannah in this month. Every year for 15 years, I've had to go get certified. You guys need that. I see that the HOAs, some of the, like Brookmont is probably some of the better run ones, but you see some of the HOAs that move on this and stuff. And when these look too heavy-handed, you got stuff that's going like, ooh, I'd get in trouble and stuff like that. That y'all move on each. I think it needs to be more regulation on that, but that is a state construct. I have nothing to say, but try to at least educate you guys where I can't legislate, at least educate. So I'll be going into my 8th annual HOA boot camp as well this coming August. And if I think about what I'm trying to advocate, it's always about you, your ideas. You know, I've got this financial entrepreneurship literacy program. We'll be talking about this next month with Madam Vice, her state of the county. So it's one of those when I'm excited about where we are with, like, I got a blueprint, you got funding, you got some good leadership in place. Now get involved, engage. It's not adversarial. I really represent you. There's no adversarial. Like, I'm here to serve. Just tell me what you need. I'll be right back. If you know how to process work, you got to get three. I can't. But again, the effectiveness is about people like, do you see the manifestation and can you help shape things going up? So guys, well, I won't belabor this. Thank you all for being here tonight for the spring town hall. I thank my guests, Director Good, and obviously Manager Duncan for joining me here tonight. For all you guys afterwards that are here in the room, we'll talk some more. Make sure to my online community, thank you so much. Those who are looking at this live or are going to be doing this in a recording. I want to thank you so much for coming out to the 2023 Douglas County District 2 Town Hall. Thank you. Evening.